Good morning, everyone, and good evening. And today is our last second course. It has almost come to an end, and it's our great honor to invite Su Huiwen and the chairman Su to share about the marketing techniques. And the reason courses I hold, I think that for students, you all learn a lot. And I hope that today you can share your thoughts with our today's lecturers. Let's welcome today's lecturers. Good morning, everyone. It's really excited to see all of your presentations. ICDF has sent your photos and your presentations to us, and I think you did a great job. And it's really glad to see that you all obtain something useful. And we will also later we will also give you some advice. It's not about comments, but about sharing our thoughts and can discuss your work or photos from different perspectives. And today, Julia will also give you some advice on your work and share some our thoughts with you. So let's begin. And let's invite our first presenter, Douglas. And you can share your screen with us. Akila Douglas. Could you please turn on your camera and share your photos with us?
Can I be next? I wasn't aware that I had to share my photos myself. I have them in the Dropbox. Good night.
Can you share your screen with us?
My screen, 1 second.
Your screen is what? Sorry. Okay. We will project your screen to everyone. Okay. We will project your photos to everyone. And could you please turn on your camera and you can simply share your thoughts about the photos you chose and share with everyone.
1 second. Just give me 1 second. I'm coming.
OK，他在用，稍等一下。
Do I need to share my screen of the photos or you have them already? I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. Or should I just talk about the photos I submitted? Hello?
Oh, no, you don't have to share your screens. You can just simply share the photos and introduce the photos you chose. And we
Oh,
will
well,
project your
I would,
photos. We will
oh,
project your
okay. So
photos to
I,
everyone. Yeah, you just simply share your thoughts and why did you choose these photos or introduce these photos.
okay, 1 second. I would have chosen a landmark that we have recently erected here in Nevis. That is our hashtag Nevis Nice sign. I would have chosen that because it's a popular place. It's becoming very popular here on Nevis. Um, my other picture. Trying to get onto the drive to remember those that I would have put up. I would have also chose a picture of a inside of a room, like as to show how one of our simple, apartments here normally looks like and set up. And I also showed a picture of one of our local dishes with a fish dish with sweet potatoes. Yes, that's a picture of the room, inside of a room, and that's a picture of the salmon fish with sweet potatoes, and that's our hashtag Nevis Nice sign. It is located outside of our artisan village, and then I would have done a screenshot of just a display of or advertising, some rooms. That that's it from me. Hello?
Okay, and our lecturer will give you some comments.
Okay, thank you.
I think later other students can firstly at the very beginning of your introduction, you can simply talk about yourself and where are you from. And and as for Douglas, your photos is really good. And the reason why I like it is because I really I really like the picture that contain English words. You provided 4 photos with us, and I really like the one with the English sign. But my advice is that the the grass part, maybe you can. I believe that in your country, your sky must be beautiful. So if you can take a look photo of a bit higher, you can take you can include more view, sky view. And I think that will be more comfortable, better than just you left a large space of grass. So during our last class, we mentioned about the third way. That is you divide your picture into 3 parts. For example, if you can take the photo from a lower perspective, from a lower angle, and you can include more sky view, and I think that will be more beautiful.
Thank you for that comment.
And and if I use this photo, how to use this photo to put it on our Facebook fan page post, I will have 2 ways. First, I probably will ask someone to pour the water in front of the picture to make this picture more interesting. And the second way is to put more emphasis on environmental problem, because in order to protect our earth, so we will uh, talk about maybe our grass is not that beautiful, but this is to remind everyone that we should protect our environment. And when people take a look at this photo, I think the first thing pops into their mind is those big words in the middle. So the focus is not about the environment. So my opinion is that I hope uh, maybe you can include more sky view. And then as for the food photo, it looks so delicious, but there's a pity that you take this photo indoor, right? So you did not utilize the natural light. So I believe that in your country is full of sunny and great sunlight. So maybe you can find a place like close to the window, and you just put this delicious dish on that table close to the window. Using the natural light can make this photo more beautiful. And if just using the indoor light, the color may be changed a little bit. I'm not sure about the what are those food. Is it I guess that it is fish chops and some shrimps on it. And we can see that the sauce on those fish chops,
It
but
is it is
it's
it's
a
a
little bit,
local it's
it's a
a
little bit,
local kingfish, carrot, pumpkin, and mashed sweet potatoes.
oh, so it's potatoes.
Yeah, mashed sweet potatoes.
OK，老师他说的这个是马铃薯，他说这个是马铃薯。Okay, I saw that it was fish chops, but so you can see from this point that maybe if we are a foreigner to see this picture, we could misunderstand the what are those food. So it would be a little bit pity that someone who saw this picture might just think that, oh, there's a plate and some food on it, but cannot clearly see what it is. And maybe you can try to uh, use different ways to display how are the food cooked, and what are those food you present to the foreigners. And so I think I I think the most important is that when you are taking photos of food, you have to let others know that what it is. And then secondly is you to have to make it look like more delicious. So that's the 2 points. But at least the first one, you should let others know that what is it. And as for my opinion, if I want to put this food photo on Facebook fan page, I will add one more picture. That is, you are cooking this food. It means that you can show the process of the of cooking. For example, like you can put some description or caption of this photo. That is, I'm cooking for my guests, something like that. And as for the second advice is that if these food are from the farms nearby, or these food are grown by your neighbors, you can mention or emphasize that these are freshly picked fruits or vegetables, and you can also tag those where are these fruit from, and also maybe you can work with the farms nearby. And so just to make this photo add some interesting parts to this photo. And if there's fish, you can also mention that maybe this fish is fresh catch to attract more people's eyes. So that's all of my advice. And from Julia's words, we can know that when we are posting pictures on Facebook, um, most students will run their fan page like uh, some people running official websites. But there's a huge difference from post on official websites and fan page. That is because if you posts on Facebook is to attract more people to come to your B&B, and you can update or upload the latest information about B&B and what about the surroundings nearby, and what are what is the food, and how about the personality traits of the B&B owners. And these are all important elements of Facebook posts. So I hope that you can get better and better. Oh, and then let's move to the room, your bedroom picture. This picture is well taken because you show clearly about this, how is it furnished, and how to improve this photo. I would suggest that maybe you take the, this photo from a higher angle. I believe that this this person is quite tall, and just like I mentioned, if you are taking photos with your phones, you can turn on the grid setting. There are 9 grids, 9 lines. To We can see that the Windows angle is a little bit incorrect. And actually, it's just a little bit there's just a little problem, but not really important. If you really want to post this Facebook, it's fine. I just mentioned about where you can improve.
Thank you.
And as for the last photo, could you tell us that uh, why do you want to choose this photo, and what does it mean of why do you want to choose this photo?
Well, it kind of gives you an a little overview of the
Okay,
outside of the building as well as the inside, and it clearly describes it's a one bedroom. That inside you can get a one bedroom or two bedroom apartment for rent, and the location.
okay. 他这边选这张的原因是因为他只是想要清楚的用一张简单的图，然后清楚的表达说，OK，里面有多少房间，然后房间的构造是怎样，因为这里面靠近哪一个区域，然后所以用这样子简单的文字叙述是来表达说这个地方靠近哪里，然后这一间民宿里面有多少房间跟设备是如何，这样子简单的概述。And actually, you have done a great job, and I really like the reason why you chose this photo. And I think this photo is really great because you briefly and simply introduce about your B&B, and then maybe you can have another post to talk about more detailed information of your B&B, like how about your uh, restaurant, how about your dining room, and you can also put some more information like how to reach your B&B, and then please remember to add the contact information. And I also want to provide more, give you some advice on the right, lower right photo. You this picture shows that you didn't have a pillow or sheets, and I hope that you can upload a photo that is equipped with everything and for is ready for welcoming any guests. But I will suggest that maybe you can um, make bed, make beds, and to look like more you are ready. And as for the upper right, I can see your kitchen. That is good. And as for the left picture, I can see that there's a yard of in this B&B, and I think that's good. And but I will suggest that maybe you can take a close-up look of the kitchen because you divide this picture into two parts, and some of the objects are cut. Um, Maybe it's a picture that contains everything, but when you post those photos, it will automatically cut some places. So maybe you can take a separate photo of a close up. You can think that uh, what kind of photo or from what kind of angle you should take. And from the photo on the upper right, I barely see the kitchen part. That's a little bit piteous, so that's my advice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions that you want to ask? And if you don't, we will move to the next presenter.
No, I don't. Thank you, though, for your comments. Really
Okay.
appreciate it.
他没有任何的问题，然后非常谢谢你们给他的意见，宝贵的意见，谢谢。Okay, let's move on to the next presenter. It's Okay, let's move to the Spanish-speaking student, Daniel. My name is Manuel Gallo, and I'm from Paraguay. And actually, I'm studying Department of Tourism, and I want to show you my B&B, ideal B&B. This is my friend's house. I really like this building. And actually there's a golf court behind it. So you can see some grass and big trees nearby. And this can attract a lot of birds and other insects or animals. And actually there are a lot of collection in the house. As you can see, there's a breakfast, and behind the breakfast, there are a lot of teacups. And what I present to you is the local breakfast. What I mean local is these are the food from Paraguay, Guatemala, and Nicaragua. And there are salt and sweet bread and some juice on this table. And if you take a close look, you can of this photo, you can see more clearly about our breakfast. And in this picture, this is the appearance of this room, and it looks so cozy. And I just take it as my ideal B&B. And this is of the fan page that I did by myself. And this is my first time to do a fan page website. I call it an ideal B&B because my friend's house is my ideal B&B. And that's all for my presentation. And now that's welcome lectures comments. And I think your presentation is good. I will talk about let's invite Julia, lecturer Julia, to talk about her advice on your Facebook fan page. Actually, I also run a B&B, and that's also my ideal B&B. So I think that you start from a very good beginning because you have, although you don't have a B&B now, but you have described it and you have come up with your ideal B&B about the internal part and your breakfast and how to present your breakfast to your guests. And that's the really important first step because you have to think about your target clients. Are they couples? Are they a family? Or just uh, are they just a group of friends and coming to here? So the photos you provided us have contained different parts of B&B from the building, breakfast, and your bedroom, and your Facebook fan page. And I think the logo of your fan page is awesome because you also put some calligraphy on it. And I believe that this logo is designed by you, right? Yes. So you can use this logo in the future. I think it's great. And as for the advice for breakfast, you can also put some descriptions. For example, like these food are from the local farmers. You can take a photo with this local farmer, and you can also tell your guests that your these produce or these vegetarians grown by this farmer is great. You can buy from it, he or her. And thanks, Julia. And I think you are really good at this. And I believe that you can become a good B&B host in the future because the photos you provided to us has shown that you have some ideas about your ideal B&B. The the essential or the core of a B&B is to show or share your local food, your local surroundings. And you have all mentioned that in your presentation. And I believe that probably the building there look alike. That's and so when guests come to your place, they can enjoy the local food. And you also mentioned about big nature can attract birds and other animals that can also attract nature lover. But usually when we are running our Facebook fan page, we will have a myth. That is, we run our fan page like running official websites. So sometimes you will only post some appearance of the building or just breakfast, but not mentioning about the local part. And you also mentioned that there's a food court behind. Maybe you can take a picture from your room and to see that golf court. And you also mentioned about there are a lot of birds here. So if you can take a photo of that and share with everyone or share with the visitors on Facebook, that is awesome. Because when they are browsing your fan page, it can make them feel like they are really there. And let them experience the local food, the local trips, and the local attractions. And you also mentioned about the collection, but actually those collections are at the back positions. So if you want to emphasize those collection, maybe you can take a close up so that your guests can clearly see your collection, and that can attract the like-minded people. And I think the photos you provided to us are fantastic. But I'm not sure whether uh, there's a window in the dining room, because the food photo only shows the light bulb, like the light from the inside. It is not the natural light, so a little bit dim. And I really like the plate plating and the dish presentation about, and also about the utensils setting, shows how careful and how well prepared the house the B&B owner is. So for a foreigner, he or she might not be familiar with the local food, and if they just take a look at this photo, they can see 4 kinds of bread and also a basket of donuts. And so in total, there are 5 kinds of food that are bread. But maybe you can take a close-up look of each bread, and or you can choose one, the most special bread. as your main course, and others are to show the importance of what's the most special. And but I still recommend that maybe you can utilize some natural light to present this photo in a better way. So I will recommend you to put take the photo close to the window and utilizing the sunlight to present the photo in a more natural way. And Julia wants to add something. And I want to ask you that, do you want to make those breakfast by yourself or you want to buy from outside? Uh, I want to buy the ingredients from outside, from other vendors, and then I cook by myself. And all of these food are available in the supermarket. As for the light, it is because the when I took this photo, it's a cloudy day, so there's no sufficient sunlight. So I couldn't use natural light. And if you can see, if you take a look at Facebook, the photos on the Facebook fan page, you can see that there's a large window in the dining room, and you can also see the golf course. And I believe that you have a very clear idea. And also some of my friends want to make breakfast by their own. And so they have to get up really quick, get up really early. So they have to work from 4 a.m. to 12 p.m. So if you don't want to, uh, so if these food are available in the supermarket in this neighborhood, you have to think that, are these food special enough? Is there any uniqueness of this food? Because your guests could also buy this food in the same supermarket. So maybe you have to think that how to present it in a different way. So maybe you can put more emphasis on dish presentation. Maybe you can dig a hole of a toast or a bread and put an egg inside and makes it more special. And that's my advice. And actually, I I agree with Julia, but I think your plating technique is awesome. And I believe that you know what is delicious, what is delicious in the supermarket. And actually, I just went to my friend's house So I went there and just buying some bread to his house. But if I just run my B&B, I think I will put all more creation on my food. And of course, if you want to take a photo, I will recommend that you can take a photo on a sunny day so that you can use natural light. But it doesn't mean that you cannot take a photo on cloudy day. Although on a sunny day, a lot of people might think that it's better to take a photo on a sunny day, but actually you don't have to take a photo on a sunny day because you have a huge glass of window, and I believe that the sunlight from the window is sufficient. And I think you take this photo by your phone and the white balance is okay. And you can try to add more values to your food. Even though you just bought these bread in the supermarket, but just try to make it more special because and make it more special, so special that when guests come home, they still miss your food. I think that if you provide 5 dishes, of course it's quite impossible to make it all delicious, and guests love 5 dishes, all of those 5 dishes. But at least you can try your best to make one dish to the best and make it more unforgettable. Leave your guests some good impression on your food. And maybe you can turn off other lights in the room and just using the light right above this table. But the best way is to use a white board to reflect the light from outside. Your this photo, the angle is right. And you don't have to prepare a huge whiteboard. Probably you just need to uh, get a 50 centimeters times 50 centimeters square whiteboard to reflect the light to your food, and that's enough. And you can also if you don't have whiteboard, if you have a tin foil, that is okay because tinfoil will also reflect the light. Because the light from the sun on a cloudy day actually can provide a more accurate color. And just utilize those whiteboard or tinfoil to reflect the light to present your food in a natural way. And as for the photo in the dining room, I I think that this photo is beautifully taken because you have set everything down. It also shows that how well prepared you are to welcome the guests. Maybe you can draw the curtain to let guests see the outside and to make the light comes come from the outside. That will create a different atmosphere. And in our last class, I also mentioned that you can turn on the HDR smart HDR function, and you will automatically adjust the light to provide the more suitable light in your picture so that your picture can look more balanced. And I prefer natural light because it can create another feeling that you can see the view, outside view. Because and on a you can also make some I have some advice. That is, uh, don't choose a room that the sunlight can directly sh shoot into the room. You can choose the room on the west side. What are the advantage and benefits of taking photos opposite to the sun? Because the sunlight will not that will be not that strong, but you still can gain sufficient sunlight. Maybe it's a little bit hard to understand what I just mentioned, but maybe you can try it in a different way next time. So whether on a cloudy day or sunny day, when you take photos in the morning and the sun is in the east, so you should choose the rooms in the west. So that is uh, just remember this and try to take photos in this way. and you can gain a better photo in a total different way. And if you if you if your B&B has a good view, just show to your guests. And as for the last photo, as for the last photo, it shows the natural nature surrounding. And actually, it's piteous that you take this photo on a cloudy day, so the sunlight is a little bit insufficient. And maybe you can find some retouching software to replace or to Photoshop the sky. And I also did that before because it's not always you can take photo on a great day. So you can look for other ways to retouch your photos. And but there's an advantage of taking a photo on a cloudy day because guests don't know this is taken from the front light or backlight. And this is my suggestions. And this building faces the east. Okay, and that's all for the first session. And let's take a 10-minute break. Let's take a 10-minute break and we will come back. And our next presenter is Goda. Okay, so that's first take a 10-minute break and then invite Goda. Uh, Golda, could you please turn on your camera and we will, it's your turn. And then uh, let's move on to the next presenter. Hold on a second. Okay, and it's your turn to talk about why you take these photos and simply introduce them. Thank you.
Okay, hi. Well, it's nighttime here, so good night. I know probably over there is day. Um, uh, my name is Golda. I am from Belize. Um, um, I personally don't have a hostel or any sort of hospitality place of my own, like a business of my own. However, I decided the pictures, that specific picture that you are showing right now, is a plate that my mother prepared at home. So it's a home meal that we had. However, the other two pictures, the one about the outside and the inside of an establishment, those are from one of my favorite hotels in my country. And yes, well, this one depicts, that the hotel is on the side of the sea. You will have a lot of breeze. You will have a lot of views, sunrises, sunsets that you can enjoy from that place. And as the other one that I showed was room, how they use a technique in the towel folding to create a more elegant aspect to their business, and also the whole setup of how the bed is placed. Everything is neat, organized. It's ready to welcome the guest. So I would say, and I chose this because the moment that I entered the room and I saw the bed placed like that, it was, it made me feel welcome. It made me feel important that they went to the extent of actually putting all of that together for my arrival.
Hello, Golda.
Yes.
Uh, Actually, your photos make me really want to go to Belize.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Uh, I have always wanted to go there because I know that the biodiversity there and there are various types of birds. And your
Yes.
photo has shown as some important elements of a B&B. And let's move to the first picture, food photo. When I see this photo, I will find something interesting because this kind of food is not available in Taiwan, in my country. So as for a gourmet, I will really want to try.
Yes,
And
and we try to incorporating the fruits and veggies that we can actually find here. Like if you notice the leaves, They are
Sorry.
spinach.
Pardon. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I
Okay.
have to switch the channel. Okay, please.
Okay.
Okay, you can talk.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I just wanted to share more
我想
on the
要
food.
讲的是
Is that if you notice, it has ingredients that represent our our country. Okay, if you see, it has plantains. Okay, our country has that a lot of sustainability and that environmentally friendly um, mentality where we try to incorporate a lot of healthy ingredients into our meals. Also, another thing is the leaf, like the spinach. In that one, in that specific setup, is serves as garnish. However, it can also be served and be included in a plate or even in a drink. And the green sauce is made with green tomatoes. We call them green tomatoes, and we just add some pepper, the same pepper from Belize, just to keep everything local. And now we just incorporate that international aspect when we include some fruits that we don't cultivate here, but we import those fruits so that we can incorporate it into our meals.
very good, and I really like your ideas. And because nowadays BNB is also promoting the idea of sustainability and to utilize the local food. And I think this photo has significantly shown us that you have a very good dish presentation and you use green leaves to show other colors. That is awesome. And just like the pictures we saw, the previous slide from other students, there's a table of food. So there are too many food. So guests cannot just focus on one type of food. And I think your photo is great because you focus on one set. And as for my opinion is that I think you can take this plate, this dish to a window, to a table close to a window, and to take this photo using the natural light and makes it more delicious because you have such a great plating techniques. And you also shows a symmetric and great angles, like there's a square in the under the plate, the table clothes. So it's a geometry. It's really interesting and great. And you also mentioned about some special your local ingredients. And I think the left part, the tor tortilla, tortilla, or is that taco? And I think
Um, it's
uh,
actually could I speak? Sorry.
不好意思，那个他想要讲一下饼的部分。嗯
It's like it's a wrap. It is a flour tortilla, but it has the flour tortilla has been made with more healthy ingredients to make the flour tortilla healthy and not just make it flour. And inside the wrap, it has chicken, it has avocado, it has pineapple, so it has even more ingredients or local ingredients inside.
Okay, I got it. Thank you for your elaboration. And I think that the essence of this plate is on the right hand side, the food on the right for me. And so if you want to, you can choose an angle that to, to show what is the most important element of this plate. And you can use those fruits as the backgrounds to show your food. And if and you can also utilize the tablecloths to create another geometry shape. But I think uh, this photo is good enough. And as for the natural light, as for the light, you can also utilize the natural light to create some shadows, and it will also create a different feeling. And so you can make these food more tasty and better. And as for the fan page, Facebook fan page posting, you mentioned that this is a handmade cuisine made by your mother, and I think it is captivating. And maybe you can show your mother's hands in this picture, because as a foreigner, it really attracts me because it's made by local. And if I want to upload or post this photo to the Facebook fan page, maybe uh, you can talk about you can show some pictures of the process of making this food. For example, like the fruit ingredients you mentioned about chicken, avocado, and sunflower. And so I know the ingredients of this food, so I can quickly understand and know what is it. So you can have a very complete post. And as for your tomatoes, your fruits, or the leaves, is probably uh, picked from the trees nearby your house. You can also show that house. And you can take this plate to the tree and take a photo with it. And to show that you utilize those natural ingredients, and guests can directly know that, oh, you utilize the local ingredients very much. And as for the room picture, I think this is a professional picture because you also shows that they have make this room ready. It's a little bit piteous that maybe there's no window in this room, or maybe when you come to that hotel, it was already in the evening, so you cannot use the natural light. It's possible. Um, but I think that you can adjust the angle a little bit. When let's take a look at the corner of the wall. It's not horizontal, it's not vertical in this, it's not a straight line in this picture, a little bit skewed. So I can feel uh, this room is a little bit dim and gloom. because we only have the light from the lamp. So how to fix these problems if we only have a phone? If you don't have a flashlight, maybe you can try to use, if you have two phones or other light, try to find another source of light to fill the light to as your backlight. But please be careful that if you use your phone's flashlight, the the atmosphere will be more white. It's a little bit cold, not that cozy or warm, and it will look a little bit pale. So it will a little bit not that balanced in this picture. So just be careful, aware of that, and just try to find another source of light to make this room look a little bit brighter. And as for the luggage on of this photo, and you find that when you are taking this photo, you probably forgot to uh, pick up or to put these luggage to other places. So you have to make sure that your photo does not include some unnecessary items. For example, like your clothes. So it will be not suitable to upload this photo to your Facebook fan page. So we have to review and check it again, your photos. And you probably take this photo from a higher angle. I think it's because you want to show this bed, this bed in a more complete way. But in fact, if you want to cover the whole bed, you can you don't have to cover all the things in just one picture. You can take some close-up to certain type of objects like the pillows or other items on the bed. Or you can take this photo from a much higher angle and makes it more uh, complete to cover other things. And Julia wants to add something. Uh, as for this photo, the chairman has mentioned that you probably forgot to uh, put your luggage to other places. And if you still want to post this photo to your Facebook fan page, I will recommend you that you can tell your visitors that find something weird or find something strange, like this kind of caption, and maybe your Facebook fan page visitor will leave some comments. Is that your luggage is there? Your luggage is there, and it will become a more interesting post. It will become an interesting post.
Yes, they will become more interesting in the luggage.
Pardon? It will become what? Sorry.
No, I just said that they would be more interested in the luggage than the actual what the picture is actually showing.
Yes, and actually you can make your posts interesting and attract visitors. That is awesome. For example, you want to show how beautiful the room is, and then your guests focus on your luggage. And maybe these posts will be circulating on Facebook community, and that's a way to market your room. And as for the setting of the on the bedding, it's probably you can add some caption like this setting will be suitable for a Valentine's Day for a couple, or it's suitable for a honeymoon. And you can tell your guests that you can provide this kind of service, and we can provide some customized services to make something different in the room and leave some unforgettable memory for your guests. So when it's time for them to travel again, they will think of your B&B, and maybe they will come to your B&B every year, and that's a way to run our B&B. Thank you. And so
Yeah,
actually
just
some
a question.
unexpected. Uh, okay.
Yes, just one question. Are captions always necessary? Like, do we always have to include captions when we put our picture, or is it okay only to upload a picture into our Facebook fan page, or how would you suggest, or what would you recommend?
If you are talking about a post on Facebook, I will highly recommend you you write something to describe your pictures, because if you only post photos or pictures, your guests probably cannot get you 100%. And so you can put a photo that is fascinating and add what you want to tell your guests that can raise their willingness to book your room. And as for if you post this picture on Instagram, maybe you don't have to put so many captions, but please remember to do hashtag. For example, to increase your visibility and exposure. So it's not that necessary to caption on Instagram, but I will highly recommend to caption on Facebook fan page post. And as for face, Facebook fan page, uh, we can use photos taken beautifully or some interesting photos. So actually, on the photo, you just choose the photos that can attract visitors' eyes. That is enough. And so I want to say that is that apart from photo, you can use your words to strengthen that kind of feeling and to tell what you want to tell to your guests or visitors. And that can connect to what you want to express in a more direct way. Of course, we don't have to uh, run our B&B in a very commercial way, but we still have shows our features of B&B. So I think it's necessary to caption. And as for the last photo, the scenery and the appearance of the building, it looks like you are taking this picture from, you are standing in the sea, right? And I think your angle is correct. You didn't put the building just in the middle of the picture, and I think that's good. And I can feel this how windy it is, how strong the wind is, because I see the leaves is on the other side, and I think that is a beautiful beach. And if um, you just use photo, you just use your phone to take this picture. I want to ask that, are you did you take this photo in the morning or in the evening or at when?
That picture, the one on
这
the
张
of the
照片
outside, yes, the one of the outside, that was early in the morning,
是早上拍的。
like mhm.
Okay, so you took this photo in the early morning. So actually, the light is not that the sunlight is not that strong, and maybe you can cover more sky view to show the blue of the sky, how blue the sky is. Or you can use wide angle function of your phone if your phone can do that function to cover uh, more to cover more scenery. And so if you can cover more, you will not just only show the beach and the building. You can also show some how blue the sky is and other surroundings of the beach picture. And if you want to use this picture and post this picture on your Facebook fan page, I will recommend that you can also add some the element of people, not just scenery. If there's a person, he or she doesn't need to wear a bikini. Just some people or walking or lingering at the beach, it can attract your visitors that what to think about or to stir their curiosity that what you want to express by this photo. Because if it's just a pure or simple scenery, I think it's hard to compete with some photos taken by those professional photographers. So we can add some more elements to show our difference. And I think Julia really hits the point. And these three photos, that's all for our three photos. Do you have any questions or any comments that you want to share with us?
No, not really. Just one thing, just to verify the information that or the feedback that you were giving me. You suggested about the using the white white angle. You said like
Yes,
on the phone.
yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, yes. Why angle to cover the photo?
Okay. To cover more of the scenery, right?
What I mean is that uh, uh, I I don't mean that you must show more scenery. It's
Okay.
maybe you can just like Julia says, add more elements in
Okay.
this photo. If you, of course, this photo is taken very well, but maybe there's no focus in this picture. So when you take a look at this photo, you will say, oh, it's beautiful, but maybe you will forget it very soon. although it's your favorite building, but you didn't show it in a very clear way. So the focus will shift to the wave, the tidal waves in this picture.
Okay.
Yeah. And as for the color of the tidal wave is
Mhm.
not that blue. So it's not, if you just want to show a simple uh, scenery picture, it's not, it's hard to compete with the professional photos. So
Yes.
just like
Yes.
Julia says, you can add more elements and maybe you can take a closer to show the building, and you can cover these three things like beach, the waves, or and the building at the same time in a clear way. And of course, there's another way to shoot this photo, to present this photo, is that maybe you can like to take a photo of your foot and you are uh, standing on or standing in front of the sea, and maybe your guests will be curious about, oh, who who is this woman, and whose food, and it will become more, you will have some points and focus to attract guests attention.
Okay.
And I believe that there will be more comments
Mhm.
and people will be more curious about your place. And you just, if you put it on Instagram, you just hashtag your building, your building's name. So at this time, you don't necessarily uh, to cover the name of the building in this photo. That's another way to shoot this photo, or when you want to post those photos on Instagram or Facebook. And so the most important is to stir your visitors' curiosity. That is the most important. And what for example, how to take this photo, I can show you with the chairman. For example, he just take a phone and we just
Oh.
hold hand in hand, and you don't have to take a photo of me, but just show our hand in hand. And your visitors will leave the comments that, oh, are you in a relationship with someone? And who is that guy? And so you don't have to cover all of the scenery. Just
Okay.
put some focus. Is that okay?
Yes. 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 It's great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And then let's move to the next presenter, Maria. Um, Good morning and good evening. My name is Maria. Actually, I am a teacher of the Department of Tourism, and I'm in Guatemala. This is where I work because currently I'm not working in a restaurant or B&B, so I just take a photo of where I work. And this photo is INDECAP, which is an association. I also take a internal picture and also take a picture of our downtown. This is our office. Do I need to elaborate every picture? No need to talk about each picture in detail, but just share with us what you want to express by these 3 photos. Just like I said, this full photo is beef with brown sugar, and there's a salad on with it. As you can see, the ingredients on top of the beef is the onion with wine, as for the building appearance. As you can see, I cover the whole building in this picture. I took this photo from the left hand side and also cover some parts of the space parking lot. And then this picture is our office and is also where I work. And actually it's quite small. And so it's hard to find a position to take this photo. So I just do my best. And these 3 photos are all of my assignments. Thank you. And actually, I misunderstood the what should I hand in. So I just hand in these photos. And actually, this is just like our previous class, how to take photos with your phones. That started from the building appearance. I think it's a great photo. You can see that it's a cloudy day. There was no sufficient sunlight, but it presents a clear and correct color of the building. So it shows that your phone's camera has a pretty good quality. And as for my opinions, I would say that the angle, the building is not vertical to the ground. So I think probably you took this photo with wide angle. So you have to check that your central line in your camera is vertical to the ground or not. Now we have many retouching softwares or apps to rotate your or to Photoshop your pictures or rotate your position of the pictures. As for the angle part, uh, I have to say, normally we will think that it's a bit boring to show the parking lot. And because the picture in this picture, parking lot has occupied almost 1/3, but you don't have to cover that much in this photo. And maybe you can cut it a little bit, cut it off, cut parts of it in our retouching softwares. And I think it's a standard picture of building appearance. And as for the next picture, office, the same problem is that when you are take photos in indoor, you probably will take the photo from a higher angle, and you will find that parts of the door is cut, and window, you also cut parts of the window and parts of the door. What I mean is that because sometimes people want to cover the whole desks, and but you neglect other parts in this picture. And if you just adjust a little bit, adjust your angle a little bit, that can fix the problem. I think this photo is taken from uh, that appropriate angle, because because you have to think about the theme of your photo, because uh there's nothing interesting or special in this picture or any elements that you want to show to your guests. And if you want to make it more interesting, you can probably focus on like some decorations in your office, or you can put some elements, because this photo is not for if you can cover all doors or windows, or you just cut all of the windows and doors and focus on your desks, maybe that would be better. Because if you want to emphasize the desk, you can move, you can remove the chairs on the lower left. So what I want to express is that you can focus on one thing or one part. And as for the last photo, full photo, actually it's an awesome photo. I think this food is made or offered by the restaurant, right? Not made by yourself. And actually, I also an intern of that restaurant, so I made these food by myself. Wow, it's fantastic because I think it's a dish that made by pro. And just like I mentioned, if you can take this photo with natural light, that is the best. What's the advantages? What's the pros and cons of this photo is that it shows the correct and accurate color of these food ingredients, but it lacks some sunlight to present this food more vividly and lively. So if you can utilize sunlight, and that is good because you you made this dish, this beef in a professional way, and the dish presentation or the plating techniques is also very professional. And maybe you want in this picture you want to show that the beef or the steak is your focus. So maybe you can turn to another angle to put the beef or steak in the front and the salad in the back at the back. That I think that's better to show what's the focus of this photo. And I also see some unnecessary items like cooks in this photo. So they make these photos a little bit messy, a little bit unorganized. So maybe you don't have to cover that part of the plate. You just focus on your food. If we just zoom in and cut those unnecessary items away, just focus on the food. Because if your plate is beautiful or your plate is beautifully decorated to show the essence of your food, it's okay. But you don't have you don't have to always take a photo of the whole plate because your focus is your food. And so when we zoom in, we can find that the steak or our food will become our focus and the most important element in this picture. So that's my opinions. Uh, Maria wants to say something. Wants to share her thoughts. Because you just mentioned that we want to shift our focus to the beef. Do you do you recommend me to cut my beef into several chunks to make it look more like juicy? Is it a better way to present it? It really depends on your plating, your dish presentation. And if you want to show the inside part, how juicy it is, how juicy the steak it is, you can try it. You can take different photos, take many photos of the of of this steak, the whole part or several, or you cut it into three chunks. And actually in our previous class, we also talked about some techniques to shift the focus on your food. And I will highly recommend you to use some those techniques we taught in our previous class. And if you want to post this photo to our Facebook fan page, you can caption this that it's an arduous effort. So I made this dish by myself. Is there anyone want to share this dish with me? So to show that maybe your unnecessary items like those cook at the corner of this photo can show your hard work. And do you have any other questions? Currently, no other questions. And thank you for your advice and suggestions. Let's take a break. Let's take a 10-minute break. And our next presenter is Barbara. Okay, let's take a 10-minute break. Barbara, would you please turn on your camera? Our next presenter is Barbara.
Hi.
Would you please?
Hello.
Hello. Would you please turn on your camera?
Oh, I'm not, just for a moment, I'm not suitably. Well, good evening.
各位晚安。
Okay. Can I turn off the
Okay,
camera
you
now?
can. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you have already turned on your camera, and you can share your thoughts with your pictures.
Oh, do you have the pictures? Do you have the pictures?
Yes. You can also see your photos on the screen. Hold on a second. Okay.
Okay. Well, this is the.
You close. You have to close your camera.
I closed it.
You can turn on your camera, because we couldn't see you. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. You
You
just
saw me.
share your
You
thoughts.
saw me
It's fine.
already. Yeah.
Okay. It's
You know
okay.
that I exist, so I can turn off the camera now.
Okay. It's fine. Okay. Let's begin.
Okay. So, all right. Well, this is the unit for the Airbnb. As you see, it's a beautiful apartment, fully equipped. It's called Santa Barbara. You have actually 2 units in one, an upper level and a lower level. Yes, and you can bask in the wonderful sunshine in St. Lucia. So you can enjoy the wonderful outdoors any time of day. And on a special evening, if you're lucky, you'll see this lovely sunset. Oh, well, on Sundays, this is what we serve. Yeah, this is the pool outdoors. That's a beautiful, well, cheesecake and ice cream. This is very popular on a Sunday. So cheesecake and ice cream. Do you have any other photos? Because I have the sunset. Now I heard you mentioned that you should have try to show, images of people, or at least maybe their hands or something, but I did not want to expose anybody. I wasn't sure how those photos were going to be used. Yeah. So that's it in a nutshell. I currently do not have a Facebook account, so I don't advertise on Facebook. But St. Lucia is a very beautiful place, and the people are very hospitable, and so one is always having a very, a marvelous time in St. Lucia. See this beautiful sunset? Wow. Nothing beats that. So that's essentially what it is. Like one of my colleagues said a while ago, we're not too sure what the exercise was about. We were just told to upload photos. So yeah, so I'm open to any suggestions you may have this evening. Sheshe.
Okay. Thank you for your sharing. And I want to compliment you that your photos are the best because you really pay attention to the photo's angle. So, for example, like the the scenery, the natural scenery, the sky view is so beautiful, and the angle is 100% correct, and it's beautiful and fantastic because, and just like you mentioned, some people like to like to take photos of streets or pets or animals or some uh, street artists. That's fine. And if you just want to focus on the simplicity of the photo, that's fine. And I think you give us a sense of serenity. And I don't think that you have to, I don't think you need to, I think you have done a great job at taking photos. And I believe that you have used uh, all of my skills taught in the previous class. For example, the picture is perpendicular to the ground. If you really want me to pick up something to say, uh, you draw you cover the curtain. If you just draw the curtain, it could also harm the light indoors. So I think you made a very good decision. That is, this photo is, as for the light in the photo, is quite balanced. And maybe you can move to a little bit right because there's a pillar in the middle of the picture. So maybe you can move to the right a little bit, and you can close to the couch or sofa a little bit. Of course, you have already done a great job, but the pillar in the middle of the picture
Understand.
has has some influence on it. So maybe you can think that how to uh, uh, make people not focus too much on the pillar in front of in the middle of the picture. And
Okay.
as for the next picture, Santa Barbara, I think
Yeah.
this photo is also uh, taken beautifully and show the whole building. And if you want me to uh, give you some advice, that is, the light is too strong and
The back.
the roof is becomes too a little bit unclear, and I believe that that's not the true color of the roof. So maybe you took this photo at noon, so the light
That's
is
correct.
so strong.
That's correct.
没错，是在中午拍的，完全正确。Yes, so actually, for photographers, they will not choose to take pictures at noon. So probably for most professional photographers, they will choose to wake up early and take photos in the early morning and then skip the noon and then keep working in the afternoon. So if this is your B&B, and I think you can check that the position, the sun, the position of the sun is in the east or the west, and you can choose the opposite opposite side to take photos. or maybe you can take a photo in the evening. And if you really want to take a photo at noon, it's okay, but you can use a function in your smartphone that is you can, when you are taking a photo with your phone, you can adjust the contrast and the light, and you can adjust it.
Okay.
And take this picture, for example, you can adjust it to uh, a little bit dark, but I really like the way you take the composition of this photo. And as for this uh, photo, you use 16 to 9, and you also cover a little bit your finger at the bottom of this picture. So maybe you can cut it off, but it's fine. This is a great picture. You can just simply cut it off. And I also see that there's a roof on the left hand side. So it will stir my curiosity that whether it is a pavilion or something else. And so maybe you can cover more about this pavilion or this building or this object. And I really like this picture. And as for those two good photos, when you compare these two photos, you can simply know that which one used the natural light. Uh, for example, like the ice cream and the cheesecake, this photo, maybe it's a little bit you shaked when you are taking this photo, but you use the natural light. And maybe next time you can try in
Put them
a
together.
different in a different angle. I mean, in a different angle, uh, to show the right hand side of your cheesecake. And because now the light comes from the right hand side, so maybe you can adjust the angle. You can decide that which one is your focus, like ice cream or cheesecake. So
Okay.
although sometimes you want to put emphasis on both of these food, but if sometimes it's hard to strike the balance to keep these two items are the focus. And so maybe you can choose one as your topic or your focus or your theme. And so you can turn to the other side and put the cheesecake in the front and the ice cream in the back. And as for the other picture, I think I really like this. I really like this photo. This food, you can know that this picture is taken indoor and using the light indoor, and so the color was not that correct, and it shows the yellow color in
Yes.
this picture, and it looks uh, a little bit, actually, uh, it makes not that tasty. And I guess that it's a chicken chop or fillet, fish fillet. So maybe you can turn to the right hand side a little bit more, and you can see the 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 right hand side or left hand side of this fish, because rice is not our focus, right? So maybe you can choose your you can focus on your main course, your chicken chop or fish fillets, and to make your picture and the food look like more delicious, and also utilizing some natural light. That would be better because the color is a little bit incorrect, and that's my advice. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And as for the next one, the sunset is fantastic. I really like the objects. Uh, I'm not sure. Did you turn on the HDR function?
No, I did not. No, I did
这
not.
一张它没有开启 HDR 功能，这张它没有。Okay. Because when we take a photo backlight, and we can see that these buildings in the front and some trees in the front are a little bit dark. And if you can turn on the Smart HDR function, the buildings will be lighter and be brighter. And of course, your focus is the sky, the sunset view, and it's fantastic. And you did a great job because it's not always to uh, take the photo to hit the sun, the sunset, but the view is great. And so my suggestion is that maybe you can turn on the Smart HDR function to make more objects in the front more clearly. And then that's my part. And I think you have already done a great job. You are so talented, and I think uh, that's welcome Julius to give you some advice. And because you mentioned that you don't want to put too many figures or people in the pictures in the photos. Actually, it's not right or wrong. You just you just stick to your style. That's fine. And for example, if you want to show a tree and tree is your focus, and you want to see the seasonal changes of the tree, and that's also fine. You just show the differences in different seasons of the tree. So as long as you have thought very clearly that how to present your B&B or your surroundings, that is good. And the photos you have taken are also awesome. And you can post these fantastic photos on Instagram, and each social platforms focus on different things. For example, like on Facebook fan page, the fan page owner tend to communicate with visitors more, and on Instagram, you don't have to talk too much to describe your pictures. And do you have any questions or any thoughts? Do you have any?
Yeah. Thank you very much for your evaluation. Yes, I do agree that the meal, as I'm looking at it now, because I kind of posted the pictures, some of them in a rush, but I agree the meal doesn't look too appetizing on the screen. Yes. Okay. In terms of the poolside view, did you say to remove some of the lower portion of the picture? And the roof to the left, should I eliminate those? You understood?
My suggestion is that your composition of this picture is great, and I think that because the sunset view is awesome, and I think the composition is also good. So maybe next time we can try to find something different in the front to contrast and to show how beautiful the sky is. And most of the time, because we can see sunset uh, in many different places. So if you want to put something in the front, in this picture, so maybe you can think of what I should put in the front to to underline how beautiful the sky is. And if your hometown has such a has such great magnificent uh, view, just try to combine something with the sky and the sunset. And that's my
Okay.
opinion.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, wonderful session.
Okay, thank you. So let's move on to the last presenter. And this presenter is Maria Lopez. And because she is not online now, so lecturers will give some comments on her photo directly. Because we have talked about many pictures already. So I believe that when you look at this picture, you can know something wrong in this picture. It's the angle is a little bit skewed, and it's not perpendicular to the ground. So when you look at this picture, you probably want to adjust the angle a little bit. Of course, it's not a bad photo. You can just use retouching apps to adjust the angles, and it uses the natural light. We can see the natural light from the mirror. So the light is okay. I think the most special part is about there's a heart shape on the bed. And I think because this is so special, so I think maybe you can take a close up to take a closer look of this heart shape. So it's a pity that we couldn't go there in person and to show you how to do it. And let's move to the next one. This is the food photo. Uh, I think the light is not sufficient. Maybe she took this photo in the evening or at night, so the food looks not that tasty or delicious. So how to take a photo of these perfect meat? I think the best way is to put this food on a plate, and using some plating techniques or to do the dish presentation. And maybe we need to take some close-ups to show the food. And we can see, we can put our focus, we can zoom in and to show the meat. And I think we need to put more lights, to add more lights to highlight the meat. Otherwise, it's not that appetizing actually, honestly. And as for the next photo, the swimming pool, this photo is fine. But maybe we need some chairs or other elements in this photo. Maybe you need to add some uh, parasol. And you leave too many space for nothing. So you didn't utilize that space very well. So I think you need to put more elements into this picture. Otherwise, you should zoom in the swimming pool, take a closer look at it. And as for the dining space, the dining rooms, I think this is great. When you look at the right hand side, the window is a little bit skewed, not that perpendicular to the ground, but I think it's acceptable. So I think maybe we can adjust or move to other position or angles. But I have to say that it uses the natural light very well. And just like Julia mentioned that if there's a waiter or waitress in this picture and serving the dishes, maybe you can more make this picture more vividly. And so that's another way of thinking. Of course, you can simply present the dining room. Of course, if you want to put a waiter or waitress, you don't have to put a focus on the waiter and waitress, just to show this dining room. Or maybe he or she is not serving the dish. Maybe he or she is organizing the table and cleaning the environment. And that is my opinions. And as for the Facebook fan page, Julia will give her comments. I think that maybe she wants to tell everyone that this B&B can hold a wedding ceremony. And just like Barbara said, you or like Barbara's pictures, this picture can cover more uh, more objects or items in a wide angle. And so if you want to show the wedding ceremony, maybe you can put some romantic elements. How to show the romantic elements in this photo, that is also the thing you need to think about. And if you want to show it is a wedding ceremony, you can also edit these photos into a clip and to make it more lively. And apart from what Julia said, the focus of this picture becomes the sign and the board in the front, right? Because the board is too big. And if you want to choose the board as your topic, you can get closer to the board and not just like 50% of the wedding ceremony, the wedding venue, and your board covers 50% of the picture. So you lose your focus a little bit because the guests or visitors will be a little bit confused. What is the point? What's the point of this picture? And so choose your theme in this picture, in your picture. And maybe the wedding venue, like the chairs or the tables, only covers 1/3 in this picture. And you can blur some parts of the picture to showcase or to highlight what your focus. And that's my opinion. And let's move to our last. Let's move to our last presenters. Patricia's photos. And we can tell from their pictures that I think in her all pictures, the light is awesome. And I think maybe uh, some photos are taken by the professional photographers. But as you can see, like this photo, we can move to the right hand side a little bit. And apart from this problem, I think everything is great. And if you can move to the other side or to the to the left hand side a little bit and to enlarge the other parts of the building in this picture. Of course, he or she might encounter some difficulty when taking this picture. And then next one is about the food picture. I think it's suitable for Facebook fan page post, and it also blur the backside. But actually, I don't know what does it mean because it's in Spanish. Oh, it says that it's time for drink a cup of coffee. Happy weekends. Oh, I got it. So I think the caption is great. But please don't forget, if you are running your BNB, please don't forget your contact information so that your guests and visitors can reach to you, immediately. Because you are not just posting a beautiful picture or vivid descriptions, you are also running your BNB. And then I think this picture is probably a conference room. And I think this picture is quite balanced. Just a little bit skewed, but it's okay. But I and maybe we can consider that whether the white area, the whiteboard, or it is it white white area or whiteboard, maybe because it's not clear, so maybe we can remove it because you didn't tell what it is, so maybe we can remove it. And as for the next photo, this this is pitaya juice, and it looks quite appetizing, and the light is from the natural light. So the juice looks a little bit transparent, but it's a pity that there's a car behind this juice. So maybe we can move this glass of juice to us a little bit and to make the trees and leaves as our backgrounds. That's perfect. And then as for the last one, not last one, as for this one, the angles is a little bit skewed in these pictures, and you didn't show the other parts of the room. Like, is there any a window? Is there any decoration on the wall inside the room? Because she only covers 2 beds. Of course, you let everyone knows that okay, you have 2 beds, but it's not that captivating enough. And then it's about the front of the building. And I think it's not that symmetrical in this photo. So if you want to take this kind of photo, you should pay attention to that. And I think this is a photo taken by a professional because he noticed and he knows the symmetry of the photo, like the ceiling and the floor and the right hand side and the left hand side. So I think it's a great picture if you want to show this room. It's a great picture. And that's probably the end of today's class. And we talk a lot today. And I hope that you really have some takeaways and you can run your Facebook fan page better and better. And if you haven't started your business yet, you can also find something interesting to develop in the future. And as for the Facebook fan page, running a Facebook fan page, you don't need to worry about you're not good at taking photos because I am that kind of person. So I have one sentence, maybe you can bear with it. That is to do first and then make it better and better and make it to the perfect. And thank all of you for sharing your photos today. And I think all of you have done a great job. And I think all of you are talented and have high potential. And I believe that you will get better and better in the future. And also, thank you for your listening. And that's the end of today's class. Bye bye.
Thank you. How do we prepare for the next class?
Hold on. Maybe you can contact Anita directly and she will tell you. And that's the end of today's class. Thank you for your participation.